Hello there, welcome to Target Radio Podcasts. Yes, we have a podcast for your ears. Every week here on the show, on our live shows that is, we try and get an interesting persons, artists, band members, music, poets, film playwrights. We even get, we'll try and get everyone. We'll try and get everyone that's interested in our genre of music that we portray here on Target Radio. So what we do is sit them down, we have a telephone interview, sometimes a live interview, and we discuss all things in their profession. So stay tuned here. This one is an absolute blast. You're going to love this, and I'll be back at the end to obviously tell you what's coming up in the very near future. I am the pod father. I will now tell you that this is Target Radio Podcasts. Don't forget to check us out on iTunes, and if you think we deserve it, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating. That would be rather nice. Thank you very much indeed. So over to me. Sit tight and enjoy. This is Target Radio. 5
Sunday,
4
Sunday,
3
Sunday night,
2
in his Sunday best.
1
Sunday,
go. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Dear God in heaven, please let this show go okay, with no major boobs or goofs, or is it goofs? Please don't let me tread all over the intros of records, or say a naughty word.
So let's have fun.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the show. Hello, 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 and welcome to the show.
Lock it on to the best station on the net.
First we take a groovy record, then we add a super sound DJ.
Oh, Sean Kerr.
The big DJ. The big DJ.
When do I get my badge?
They're in the post. Hello, welcome. Target Radio here, live. It is so live, honestly, it really is. Nice to have your company here on a Sunday evening, 21st of March, and the time is now 19:01 and 50 seconds, just to prove that I'm live. Of course, there might be a delay, or you might be listening later, so that means absolutely nothing to you. Anyway, how has your week gone? Well, mine was okay. The week before last, we had a brilliant number of guests on. And then someone said to me, "Here, Cookie, go and get your vaccine. Go and get your COVID jab." Okay, I will. Thank you, Mrs. Cookie. So I had it on the Saturday. I was fine. It's just a small prick. That's enough of that. And then Sunday morning, oh my God, I was not very well at all. Aches, shivers. Great commercial for a lemon drink, I think. But then I picked up, I was all right Monday, Tuesday. I started to feel more myself. Yes, that bad. Anyway, it just proves that the jab really does work. If you start getting the slight symptoms of COVID, which is, I would say, a very mild, mild flu-y symptoms, you know that your antibodies are working. Fantastic. So anyway, all good. Then someone said to me, "You got to have a second one." Okay, we'll try it. Anyway, hopefully you're all well and staying out of the COVID situation, i.e. keeping yourself away from others and washing those hands. Anyway, we've got Darron Darron Robinson, a lead singer with the Shala Lars, coming on with us in about 10-15 minutes' time. Looking forward to speaking with him and finding out how the band's going, and obviously pre-lockdown and then obviously post-lockdown. Yes, we are going to start talking about post-lockdown very, very soon. But we're not doing none of that yet, because I haven't played anything from The Who yet. Here we go. The Star Council there, and A Solid Bond in Your Heart. And just before that, we had, of course, The Who with Happy Jack. And I know somebody that's actually very, very happy at the moment. Hang on. There we go. Right, it's Mr. Adrian Wokelin. And I'd just like to say hello and good evening to Adrian, who is part of the Mods of Your Generation and hopefully soon part of Target Radio as well, or at least a listener for Target Radio. Why not indeed? And I'd just like to say hello to him and hope you're well, buddy. Okay, now it's a Sunday and do you know something? I feel a bit lazy. See what I've done there? And I'd just like to know what's going on there, for goodness sake. I don't know. So, yes, I was going to play Lazy Sunday Afternoon, and for some reason, it didn't want to play. Okay, I'll tell you what, we've got a special guest coming up very, very soon. It's Mr. Darron Robinson, and lead singer of the Shala Lars, and let's play one of his then instead. Oh, what a great tune!
Come on, let love.
The Shala Lars there, and Let Love Shout. And I'll tell you what an appropriate song to put on, because we've got Darron Robinson after this. This is The Small Faces with Lazy Sunday Afternoon, with fingers crossed. Okay, for those that regularly tune in and hear this familiar tune, you know it's chatting time. And we're hoping to have Mr. Darron Robinson on the other end of the phone right now. So let's check in and see, do we have the lead singer of the Shala Lars with us, Mr. Darron Robinson?
I'm here. Hello, mate.
That's for you, my friend. That's for you.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you.
It's been a while since we've heard audiences.
Yeah, blimey, tell me about it. Mate.
Oh,
yeah.
My goodness me. How are you, Darron?
I'm good, mate. I'm really good. Yeah, you?
Yeah, not too bad. I had my first COVID jab a couple of Saturdays ago, and I was quite ill on Sunday, actually, to be honest with you. But
right.
Yeah, I found out that it's actually a good thing to become a little ill because it's your antibodies all working. So no blood clots, and absolutely fine and dandy right now. So that's all good.
Good to hear.
Have you had yours yet, or you're not old enough, are you?
I'm not old enough. I'm only 21. What's that?
There we go. You got that in there just before I did.
Yeah, I had mine. Yeah, I had mine this week, and same as you, felt a little bit Tom and Dick afterwards. But
yeah,
that's what it's doing. It's giving it to you, and then it's saying, right, come on, then have some of that.
Yeah, some of that, buddy.
See what you could do.
Sort it out. So you're all good now, yeah?
Yeah, all good, man. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it was a couple of days, and I was feeling, am I never going to get over this? Wake up one morning, think, what was all the fuss about? I was like, I'm fine again now. But then someone reminded me that you've got to have a second one.
Here you go. Yeah.
Don't want to do that. Anyway, let's get away from the COVID and things, because obviously we're going to try and start sort of being positive now and start talking post-COVID, as in that's gone, goodbye, and hello, new world, and hopefully new world, new music, and obviously new faces out there as well. So what you got planned?
Well, yeah, that's exactly how the space we're in at the moment is getting ready, prepping for when everything opens up again. So we're hoping to get in. Well, we will get in the studio hopefully next month, April, when things open up.
Yes.
To start recording for a 4-track EP release in the summer, which should then
very nice.
Coincide with lots of new gigs and dates that are, the phone seems to be ringing every day these last few weeks.
That's never a bad thing, though.
Absolutely. So looking forward to it. It's good. It's funny because I'm writing all the time, but you never really finish anything off until there's a reason to finish it. You know,
absolutely.
When there's a purpose, then you go, right, here we go, let's finish that off. Otherwise, it's just a collection of ideas, if you like, you know. And
of course.
So that's been good. That's been good to be able to say, right, let's get that, finish that off. So Yeah, but I've been keeping myself busy during it all with writing and doing bits and pieces. I'm lucky enough here. I've got a little kind of music room where I can do recording and stuff. So a double LP would be more in keeping with.
I've not heard that one before. No, there's a lot of bands, artists out there that said they've got so much material because obviously that's all they've been doing. So you're pretty much in the same sort of ballpark there. You've just been doing loads and loads and loads. But it's all proactive. It's all good. It's all positive, isn't it? Really. Oh,
absolutely, and it's good because you can kind of sometimes when you. I mean, I haven't stopped for years. It's always one thing to the next thing.
Yeah.
The time a single comes out, it's already old to me because I'm doing the next single.
Of course,
so
yeah.
That kind of enforced break was good because you could kind of experiment a bit, instead of sort of just, which was good. At one point I was even considering jazz, but I couldn't get the beard long enough to do that, so I gave up on that.
I can't see you doing that. I really can't see you doing that.
No, I don't understand.
I mean, obviously, I try and put some AKAs to every band that I see and hear and witnessed, and obviously, I'll just put you down as the powerful band because you are mighty loud and you are one of the loudest bands I've ever had the privilege of watching and seeing and obviously recording. You know where I'm coming from on that one. Yeah. And I believe that was on one Sunday afternoon that we met up and I think we were playing somewhere over in Weybridge. I think it was Mike Thompson's little soiree.
Yes, I remember that.
And that was a great afternoon. There was quite a few people there for an afternoon sort of like before tea time gig and you actually blew the doors out. I mean, you literally are that loud but that good as well. Really enjoyed it. Really good. And there's a great music buzz around you as well. I mean, with the Hammond organ, your bass player, he's a bit dodgy, I know. And obviously, the rest of the troops there. So it gives you a fine opportunity now to say hello and name and shame your band, please.
Right. Well, not that they matter, but I will do.
I know you love them, really.
I absolutely love the lot of them. My favourite one, Mr. John Lee, on Hammond organ and Wurlitzer piano.
Yep.
My mate going back since school and always my right-hand man on drums and percussion is John Giovanni Pax Picarillo. Call him any one of those. He goes by any of them.
Okay.
And of course the good man, Mr. Veer Osborne.
There he is. Yeah, the dodgy bass player, as I call him. I love him to bits, really, though. And I know he says awful things about me all the time. I know he does.
Yeah.
So, when's your first? Hopefully, fingers crossed, and everything goes according to plan. When's your first gig, Darron?
Well, we've got booked in. We've got the 20th of June at the Paper Dress Vintage in Hackney, which is a cracking venue. At the moment, that is kind of socially distanced rules. So you're sitting at tables and all the rest of it, which is it's okay, but it's not like a proper full-on gig. So on the 25th of June, which is the first Friday night, once fingers crossed all these restrictions get reduced. We'll be playing in the Cavern in Rains Park.
Oh, what a great venue!
It's brilliant, absolutely superb place. And we've played there quite a good few times, and it's always a good vibe. So I'm hoping that rush of being released allowed out the first Friday night.
Oh, brilliant. And it's not a school night either, which is fantastic.
No.
So that is brilliant. And I've heard through the grapevine that the Cavern Club actually has had a refit. They've done the PA system in there. They've really made it so much better. Sound acoustics and everything else. So, the Cavern Club, if you've never been there, ladies and gentlemen, it is a fantastic boozer, if you want to get right down to the boys, get down to the town. It's a right good boozer, but it's really had, before they've had this refit, it really had a good sound to it as well. And the positioning was really well. Just walk in and there you are on the right-hand side playing, bar in front of you, and it's always packed in there, Darron. It really is.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, we've had some great nights down there, and the sound, as you said, I don't know why they've changed that. They'll have to go some to improve it, because the sound was always fantastic, especially the way we play, which is the only way we know how, which is full throttle. You've got to have a half-decent sound to be able to deal with that.
And they've upgraded it, yeah. They've actually upgraded it, so you're going to sound extra loud now, so that is fantastic, yep. When we sort of muck about and say, put your volume on 11, I think you go about 12 or 13, don't you? It's absolutely unbelievable. You got to see it and hear it to believe it, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're not doing anything on Friday evening, get yourself down to the Cavern Club for a general release of yourself out in the big outdoors. Hopefully you know how to use the front door lock and get out. Get yourself down there because it's going to be a cracking night. I wish I was local now because I've moved myself over to Lincolnshire now, so I'm not as local to yourselves anymore. But I will make that special effort to come and see you guys sooner rather than later because obviously I'm itching to get out myself.
Yeah, I bet you are, mate. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's the sort of, I mean, obviously it's been a while, been about at least a year since obviously you probably last performed properly. What's your go-to song? What really gets you and the band going?
What do you mean, like another artist?
No. One of your own.
Well, I don't know. It depends. It depends what day it is. I leave that up to other people, to be honest with you. I mean, there's ones that, the ones that you enjoy playing because they're nice and easy and you can get into them, and there's some that are a bit more challenging, which is always nice when they come off properly, But all of them, I wouldn't. They're like my children, I can never. Songs that you write are like your children.
Of course.
You spend all this time nurturing them and nurturing them. You make them as big and as strong as they can, and then at some point you let them out into the big bad world and say, off you go. Some people are going to love you, some people ain't.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got some followers, let's be honest with you. I mean, according to Facebook, you've got 3,500 followers, which is fantastic, to be fair. And, I can see your gigs come up now. I was just going onto your page. So, obviously, you're on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Head over to the Shala Lars. Don't forget your apostrophe in between the A and the S there. And you'll see, obviously, a few bits and pieces about the band and everything. But there's some amazing pictures here of yourself, obviously, with the guitar there. And I'm not quite sure if you're straining for a poo or actually hitting one of those real sort of hard notes there, but it's a great dedicated picture of you playing there. So it's brilliant, Darron. Honestly, it really is. And then I see you've got Jackfest at the Suburbs, and then you're at the Suburbs again on the 30th of July in Guildford as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you've got that list in front of you because I ain't.
Okay, just going through it then. You're over at the Essex Arms in Essex. That's Brentwood in Essex on the 7th of August. And then over to, here we are. This is where I might get to see you guys then. You're playing in Brighton on the 26th of August at the Brighton Mod Weekender. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. That's support for the Rifles. So that's always the Rifles always open up the Brighton Mod Weekender on the Thursday, so really looking forward to that one.
That should be a good night as well.
That'll be a great night, yeah.
Absolutely. We've all been cooped up far too long, so I think we need to get out there, let our hair down and let everything else down, I think, as well, while we're there. And so you can traditionally sort of like throw a few more mod covers into your set for the Brighton Mod Weekender.
Probably not.
I know what you're like.
I always like to do. It's funny, we don't do hardly any covers really, but the recent one that we were before the lockdown we were doing a cover of Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions really, of Meeting Over Yonder. So what I like to do is to do the things that maybe the original mods would have listened to, rather than doing a Small Faces cover or something. We do understand, but for me, I like to do those kind of things where what were those guys dancing to and listening to? And it would have been stuff like that, Black American R&B music and whatever, So if we do something, I don't know, make it a bit different, something not so obvious, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last time you played, I saw you play anyway, a lot of the stuff you were playing was really, really good. And you can hear that sort of very early 60s vibe to your music as well, which is what I really, really love about you guys. Even though it's all your original music, it's all yours. You've penned it. You've put that to the test, and, to the test it's worked. It really has got that unique but also familiar sound, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no. It's good of you to say that. It's nice to hear. That's all a songwriter needs to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean,
because you can only bring out what you take in. So if your influence is what you're listening to, it's all I listen to is that kind of music. So if that's coming in, well, that's going to come out again. And it's more important for me. It's not contrived. It's just natural. That's and you can always tell that with a musician or an artist, a creative artist.
Yes.
You can tell when it's not contrived, when it's real, and it is,
Absolutely. And just steering away from the Sha-La-Las and yourself for a second then, obviously you're still a human being, and obviously you have your musical preferences and tastes and everything. Who are you most likely to go and watch yourself first, once we're out of lockdown?
That's an interesting thing. What I've been listening to this week. I've been listening to a lot of the Michael Kiwanuka LP. I like that.
Okay.
That's a really good one. I like. There's a band from Holland I've only heard of, Lefty Soul Connection. Been listening to a lot of them, but we're going to have to wait and see who's out there. Who's going to get out, and play. I mean, some of the bands that we've played with over the last couple of years, it'd be great to play with again and see again. Stone Foundation, Men of North County, bands like that. They kind of get me, because those kind of soul bands, it was good to see.
That's it, yeah. I mean, I'm interested in watching and obviously going along to see The Truth, because that's a group that never really, in my view, went away. And I've never seen them play live, and I've seen quite a few of the good bands, from the Revival, obviously, because I'm not that old, obviously. And I've never seen The Truth, and I really want to go and see them. So I was pending to go last year, but obviously then something else happened. I think everyone knows what happened. And obviously that never happened. So, looking forward to it. Hopefully this year coming. I think they're in Watford, supporting from the Jam as well, I believe. Or no, the Specials. Right. The Specials, I think they're supporting as well. I'm not sure. There's so many things going on there at the moment. I'm getting confused and confussed. It doesn't take a lot, really, for me. Now, you're a signed group, aren't you? You're on the Detour Records label, aren't you?
That's right, yeah. All our records are out on that, and the next one will be, and probably the next one after that.
Excellent, that is good. It's nice to have that, to sort of, I'm not saying fall back on, but to have that to distribute your stuff out there.
Oh yeah, I mean it's brilliant for me because they pretty much leave me to my own devices. Really, there's no pressure to do anything or to do anything in a particular style, which is always nice to have that freedom.
Yes.
To be able to write and not be thinking, somebody's going to turn it down. Although, that could happen, I suppose. It could get it wrong. But it's nice to have that. It's nice. It's really nice, like I said, to have that support so that there is something at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. I mean, I speak to somebody the other day. Once I've written them and recorded them, I pretty much have no interest in them then. They're done. They're out into the world. So I'm surprised you just said to me 3,500 people on Facebook. I don't know, but somebody said to me the single we had out a couple of years ago, When Love Comes, is there something like 10,000 hits on YouTube and all sorts of things, which I'm just, wow,
It's mind-boggling. It's really good numbers as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's certainly not me. I don't think, wow, who on earth is... But that's lovely. I mean, it's when I do get to go to the office at the Detour, they'll sort of show me what I call behind the scenes on the computer to see like digital downloads and streams and stuff. And there's people from countries I've never even heard of, clicking that 79p, which is lovely. That to me that's what it's all about. Is I don't know these people, they don't owe me anything. And yet, there you go. That's all that matters. Somebody somewhere, I don't need to know them. They don't need to know me. But we connect through the music, which is lovely. But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, music is sort of universally recognised anyway. So obviously, it comes to no surprise to me really that you've got people all over the world, pressing these downloads and purchasing your wares, which is really, really fantastic. And it's great news as well. It gives you that buzz. I think it just gives you that little oomph and the drive, I suppose, to push forward and bring the next brilliant hit out. I don't think you've ever made a poor song. To be fair, everything's been catchy. Everything's got a great tune to it. You've used every single instrument you can possibly think of, and then some in every single one of your songs. Even the like the slow ones. Where you strip it almost back to nothing. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You've got a great voice, and to be honest with you, there's a lot of bands out there, but you just sort of, I don't know, you just seem to be always just that little bit ahead of others. I don't know why. Is that insight for you?
I don't know. I just
you just get on with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you very much for that. That's lovely to hear. It's just, I'm always doing it, so I'm always trying to come up with things and come up with ideas. And as I say to people that, songwriting and any creative process in general is mostly throwing away. Your most of your time is spent. You throw away 99% of what you do, but you need to do that. You need to be. So I mean, I love it all. I love doing it all. I love singing and playing guitar and gigs and everything, but my favourite bit of it all is the songwriting. Is that I think Keith Richards said that a painter has paint and an easel, an author has reams and reams of empty paper, and a songwriter has silence. And I love that. I absolutely love that. That before, whichever song, whatever song, When Love Comes or Soul of the Nation, before I had that idea, that didn't exist.
Yeah.
That was nothing. There was nothing. It wasn't even on a bit of paper. And then just through your imagination, you can, which I love. That's the whole process. When you get that spark, you get that, like I've said before as well, I don't, sometimes wonder if I have anything to do with it. It's just kind of out there in the ether, and you happen to tap into it at a time. But when you get that spark, you get that idea, it's wow, and off you go.
And there you go.
That's hours gone.
Absolutely. And what sort of going to the songwriting itself, because it's always fascinated me as a sort of listener, not a creative person to the extent of writing a song or playing music, but obviously as a listener of great music. I've always wondered, what comes first? Is it the tune, the melody, or is it the actual lyrics for you?
It comes at you any which way it can. It really does. Any one of them could happen. Or all three could happen at the same time, or nothing can happen,
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter where you are. It just hits you, you could be lucky. I could be lucky and pick up the guitar, play a chord, and a first line will come out. Sometimes it's a title, sometimes it's a little idea. You might be just sitting down, and then I don't know things. I mean, the stuff we're doing at the moment, or is in the early process of writing and be recording for the EP.
Yeah.
It's just coming at you, really. You just got to be. I'm not, don't get me wrong, Sean. I'm not an old hippie. But you got to open your mind.
Mind you, have you had your hair cut yet, Darren?
No, so I could be getting there.
Oh wow!
I could be getting towards that, but no, you just open your mind to it all.
Of course.
I think it was Ernest Hemingway that said that it's what was his thing? Oh, write drunk, edit sober. By which he mean, I don't think he meant literally drunk.
No,
I think what he meant was you just let it go.
Yes.
You just literally don't think about it. Don't think about full stops and capital letters and exclamation marks.
No, exactly. Let it flow.
You just let it go, and then you can sit back and go, "Well, that works. That doesn't work. That's a good idea. That's a rubbish idea." But like I said, most of it is. Well, most of it is thrown away. What you're thinking there?
Well, no, indeed, absolutely. I mean, it's just that, to sort of go with that sort of line of thinking. Obviously, it's like a filmmaker, and obviously I know a little bit about that. It's amazing how much footage I don't use. But I need it just in case I might want to take literally, a third of a second, just to get a different angle or a different perspective of that shot that I'm trying to incorporate into the video or the film. And the rest of it, the next 10 minutes of it, I don't use at all, because you just want that slightly different angle from the viewer's point of view. You think, okay, we haven't just done that on a handheld or on some sort of iPhone or another phone or whatever. You've done that, and you thought about it, and you've actually put a little bit of effort into it, and you've got a different angle. So it's the same, obviously, with songwriting. Then one would assume that you think, okay, what rhymes with? Sometimes you think, well, actually, no, I don't need to rhyme it. I need it to make sense.
Yeah, and nothing gets lost. So all your shots that you've thrown away, they're not, because they got you to where the shot that you liked.
Of course I have, absolutely. And I suppose it's the same with songwriting. You've got to tell that story, you've got to sort of sing that song. Going with story writing, though, I mean, are you a fan of the singing the song that makes sense, as in a storybook song?
I don't know. To me, it should be like it's like my favourite singers are all the great singers like Otis Redding and Aretha Franklin and people like that. And I always get from them, there's a sense of that they mean it and that it's instinctive.
Yes.
It just comes out. So I think for me, what works better is if it sounds like they're just communicating with you, that it's just coming out like that. And I mean, let's face it, you can take the lyrics to Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On," and you could probably fit them on the back of a postage stamp. There's not much there at all.
No.
But of all the things that have been written, all the films, plays, and books, and songs, and art that's been produced of the futility of war, it's not summed up better than "Brother, brother, there's far too many of you dying. Mother, mother, there's far too many of you crying." Done. Job done.
The job's there, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. It didn't take me long to write that, did it?
Yeah. I mean, that's my favourite thing is using simple words to make a complex message understandable. That's where I go. I'm not that, and unless you're John Lennon, and it's Norwegian Wood and stuff like that.
Oh,
very few can do it. So yeah, to me, it's just it's those words that pop their heads up.
Yeah.
You got to have those words. You think of all the great choruses that those words pop out. They just show their heads.
Yeah.
So,
and they're there, aren't they? They're there for you. They're there. Yeah. Crystal clear. They're there. Obviously, for me though, with singer-songwriters and definitely the songwriting side of things, I always try and sort of dig deep into that song and find out if there's anything in there, like an encrypted message, or is there a different story going on in there? Is there a different meaning to the song? Are you like that yourself when you're writing this?
Yeah, I mean, I am obsessed with music and all kinds of music.
Of course, yeah.
But I mean, funny enough, some lyrics would be. It comes as a surprise to some songs. For instance, Johnny Cash, "A Boy Named Sue," I think is probably the greatest lyric ever written. Because if you listen to that, it's a brilliant story that this useless man, the only way he could be any good to his son was to give him a girl's name so he could toughen him up.
Yes.
And I just again, that's just brilliant. So there's always bits in it, isn't it? There's always then the myth behind it all and everything that with stuff like, especially with stuff like Norwegian Wood, like I said, where you hear all sorts of different tales what it's about. But I'm more of I do like that kind of sloganeering, if you like.
Yes.
When I think of the great work that the Specials did, and when you think of a song like Free Nelson Mandela, that's absolutely brilliant to get millions and millions of people aware of the plight that was going on in South Africa at the time by making them dance and sing. And then have people have that name on their lips and people say, "Who is Nelson Mandela?" And off you go. So I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. That's it. You've got sort of a song with a real sort of tough meaning to it, and obviously a simple Free Nelson Mandela. It was simple,
absolutely,
and it was there, and they were chanting it all the way through the actual song. If you haven't listened to it, I'll have to dig that out. I really will have to dig that out and put it on.
That's absolutely brilliant. I mean, the genius is to get people to dance and not know that they're not being lectured at, but to not know that there's something there. And then let them make their own mind up. That's genius. Because you can make anybody dance by going, whatever, dance baby. And you can get anybody be sad by making a sad song. But to get that across to people, so that, you can only imagine at the time, whenever that was out, mid-'80s or whatever, that across nightclubs and, everywhere, they're all dancing to that. It's brilliant. That's inspiring.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a tradition that goes back to, all you need is love and all the rest of it,
Sometimes the simplest songs work. The Beatles, early Beatles stuff for me, She Loves You, Want to Hold My Hand, Driving My Car. It was just simple, easy lyrics, which just really worked, didn't it? It got to the point and they sung it, and it was just easy listening. And look where that happened to the Beatles, 7 years or so.
Too bad, did they?
They were all right, shame they split up, but but everyone refers to their singing, their songwriting abilities. Everyone either mentions McCartney, Lennon, or the Beatles. Every single person I think I speak to on here, I've often sort of gone back to the Beatles, even if it isn't just a passing sort of flight of fantasy, saying, "Oh, I love the Beatles, love this, I love doing that, And the Beatles get mentioned pretty much week in, week out, and it's unbelievable. It really is.
Well, I mean, they're just a freak of nature, aren't they?
Absolutely.
You'll never see the like again. That
no.
Probably two of the greatest singers that pop music has ever produced, McCartney and John Lennon.
Yeah.
two of the greatest songwriters, arguably one of the greatest bass players,
Yep.
one of the greatest guitarists, and I know he gets a lot of stick, but Ringo Starr is an absolutely unique style, genius, and to actually think that those four were all born near each other, close enough to know each other,
peace
to
and
get
love,
the full-
peace and
I mean,
love.
you know, that would either one of them would do one band. You know, most bands have to put up with one Paul Weller.
That's true.
To actually have
Absolutely
four,
true.
It's freakish. It will never happen again.
Oh,
You know,
guess what I've
it's
just found? Guess what I've just found? Hang on, we'll have a little snippet of this.
Free Nelson Mandela.
It's there.
There you go.
And that was a special AKA with Free Nelson Mandela. We'll just put that on in the background because it's got a great little ska reggae like tune here. Here we go. So if you've never heard this, go and download it now. It's only going to probably cost you 49 pence or something from iTunes or wherever you get your downloaded music from. It's a great track, and it's just got everything, like you say, on there. And like you say, there's not much in the way of lyrical content there, but it just works, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Gets the point across, does the job. And like I said, when you think of it at that time, the kind of mid-'80s, where all sorts of horrendous things were happening in this country and other countries, to be able to get people to dance to that message, you know, that's to me is as genius as Imagine is, you know. It's
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, as well, Darren, a lot of people don't know this, but did it actually help free him? I think it did. I think it got
of course it did.
so
absolutely.
much.
I've had this discussion.
Yeah,
absolutely. I've had this discussion with people many a time. So I would put my hand up and say that at that time, I was probably about, how old I have been then, 19, 20 or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Nelson Mandela was, and I should really be embarrassed that I didn't, but I didn't know. I didn't know who Nelson Mandela was, and it was only when I heard Special AKA, because it was the Specials, that I listened and said, who's Nelson Mandela? That's the time pre-internet, which nobody can really remember now.
No.
So you had to ask.
Yes.
So you would go somewhere and ask, and then you would find it. And people did end up saying, what, he's in prison? What, he's been in there for 20 years? What did he do? Blah, blah, blah. That absolutely builds that whole pressure, political pressure, and makes people aware. If anybody ever says, I know there's a few people that say pop music can't change things. It can, it does, and it has.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we might not be in a place now where it's a good place to be, but it does, and it has absolutely changed things, and it has the power to change things.
Of course it does. I mean, just think of Live Aid, you know, going back to 1985 when, you know, Wembley Stadium packed out all day long, and then they sped over to America for the, you know, the other 12 odd hours, you know.
Absolutely.
24-hour music marathon, and it was all used for good, you know.
Absolutely,
so music can change. I mean, it can be a simple Backstreet Boozer or Wembley Stadium. It doesn't matter as long as people are listening, turning up, having a jig to some music. And going back to yourself now, you know, obviously, I'm not sure if you're selling out Wembley yet.
Not yet, not this year. Anyway.
Not this year, maybe next year. But mind you, with 3,500, I mean, you might get Wembley Arena. Think about that.
We can start work on that one,
Start work on that one for next year. There we are. And moving forward then, obviously, we've got a handful of gigs already, and as you say, your phone is ringing off the hook almost. You know, so what's next for the Shalalas in regards to, obviously, music and moving forward to some live content? I mean, we've got a few there already. You got anything sort of lined up over the Christmas period at all?
Not at the moment. We always end up having lots of offers over Christmas, so we kind of put them on. This sounds really crass to say we see which is the best, but we do. We end up thinking, you know, we've also got a lot of rearranging to do of the gigs that were cancelled last spring and summer. So
absolutely,
this time last year we were due to go and play in Le Havre in France and Bilbao in Spain. And
wow.
All sorts of places up and down the country and in Europe and stuff. So we need to kind of leave some space to get them booked in again.
Absolutely,
So it's not. I never like to put too much in because it kind of limits you a little bit. You know, it's 6 months, 8 months down the line, and then you never know. You know, just wait and see what comes up. You know,
absolutely. I mean, is it enjoyable playing in Europe itself?
Well, they're all different. It's funny because people often ask, what's your favourite gig or what's your worst gig? They're all different. You know, it's an odd thing to think it could be different. The nicest ones for me are always the ones where they're not places that they're places that only music took me there.
Yeah.
I possibly wouldn't have gone otherwise.
I see, yeah.
So that's always nice to go to a town or a city or a place where, and to see how your music goes. But what was really interesting when we played Paris a couple of years ago, that was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because my French is non-existent other than Del Boy, Monge 2. But you're able to communicate.
Yes.
It's fascinating through music, and to see smiles on faces and bring people that same joy that you might give a crowd in Blackpool.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you about the language barrier itself, but I suppose music doesn't have really a language barrier, I suppose. If it's sung in English, it can be sung all over the world, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing about music, especially this music in this country. It's disproportionate amount of music that we put out into the world.
Yeah.
We do American music and British and Irish music does lead the world in pop music, and it has for the last 50 years. That's not to put down any other culture's music. They're all valid, and
Of course,
But of course, it does help that that it's sung in what would be known as the traditional pop language, which is English, I suppose. But
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's always nice because you get different reactions to different songs. Different crowds feed off different things, and we do occasionally will steer a set. We won't stick to a set list, if you like. If we feel that it needs to go in a certain direction, we'll throw in a few that take it to a different place that maybe we weren't expecting, but the crowd were. And the crowd, the punters are always the most important. The punter is the most important person in music.
That's really good to hear.
Doesn't play, doesn't sing, doesn't write. They're the most important.
Yes.
They get it. They understand it more than any of us.
And it just shows the professionalism and the tightness of your band as well when you can do that. I mean, obviously, you'll sit down, a couple of hours maybe the day before, or a few days before, and say, right, okay, this is where we're going with this, playlist, etc. And then on the evening, you think, right, okay, we're going to do this one, and then we're going to just change it because we think that the audience are really digging this style, what we're doing right now. It'd be a shame to sort of like now change it to something slightly different. Let's keep with that and then let's throw a couple of these ones in, and it's really good that the band will just sort of like put that nod, and boom, you're into the next song, which is not on the playlist. Yeah,
it frightens them.
I bet.
But then I do like to keep them on their toes. They have said to me before when we've come on stage and there's an encore, and they will say to me, "What are we going to do?" And I'll say, "I don't know." And just walk on stage, and then they look, "Oh, that's a great help." And then it's always nice. It's always nice to. Mix it up a little bit and see.
Of course.
That's surprises for you then.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it must be really, really. I mean, that part of the being in a band, you must really have missed that for the last year. With lockdown, version 1, 2, and 3, and obviously coming out of 3 now. Hopefully, anyway, fingers crossed and touching wood, and all the other religious things that one can touch and hold and cross and whatever else. It must have been absolutely. I mean, obviously for all musicians, but for yourself personally, it must have been so awful not being able to put your craft out there to the general public.
Yeah, I mean, you do. I mean, I wouldn't say it's something that I need to do, but it's just natural for me to do it. So I absolutely love doing it. So, and again, it's that for me. I absolutely love the green light. As soon as that light goes, you're going to do it. So whether in the past we've done some television stuff or some radio stuff or some whatever live stuff.
Yeah.
You can have, if nobody's listening, you can have a dozen goes at a song and you'll get it wrong. But when it matters, when it's the real deal, you can't, and you do it. And I love that. That
little pressure, isn't it? It's just there, isn't it? And I think it does make you perform just that little bit more. Where you put 99.9% in, I think you put like 101% in. Just go that extra percent, don't you? Really, and you nail it. You absolutely nail it. And I suppose being part of a band as well. And I mean, obviously, I spoke to many bands as well as solo artists, and it's quite funny because some people say, well, being part of a band, you can hide behind so-and-so. Or, if you drop a note or something, nobody really hears it because obviously, the bass is doing what they do, the drummer's doing what they're doing, the lead guitarist is doing that. So I suppose you've got some comfort there as well, relying on the rest of the band just to sort of like, to pick you up, support you, or you can support others as well. So I suppose you've got that sort of network there in a band, haven't you?
Yeah, although I do find them for any drop notes.
And I'm sure you do.
It's £5 a bum note.
Oh, better tell that dodgy bass player then. Is it? He must
Yeah,
be
he
very
owes me a
rich.
fortune.
I would say he must be very rich or very skint, one of the two. Oh, it'd be nice to see you guys again soon as well.
Yeah, no,
I'm
looking
really
forward
looking
to it
forward.
again. It'd be good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love live music. I love the atmosphere. I love the people. I love what music brings out to many people. It doesn't matter if it's not your bag of music, if you're going out to watch sort of live music. I would say the Sha-La-Las, it's definitely worth a go, ladies and gentlemen, because what they play is good, hard-earned work. The work effort there is absolutely brilliant. The tunes they play, for me, obviously I'm biased, is absolutely spectacular. But you've got to see them play live, ladies and gentlemen, because they're absolutely brilliant. There's no shame in bringing some earplugs, just to sort of like to lower the sound slightly. If loud music is really not your cup of tea, but like you say, your foot right on the pedal. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a great night. Your ears are buzzing at the end of it, and it's absolutely brilliant. You remember the gig. That's what I will always say. You'll always remember the Sha-La-Las for their, the crispness of the sound that they perform, the music, the lyrical content. And the thing is, though, as well, you're all quite showy showmen on the stage area as well, which is really nice to see. You interact with the audience, in between songs. It's good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Some sort of like, don't get me wrong, it's not like a criticism, but you'll get some artists that will play, and they play well, and they get the next song, they play that well, and then they get the next song, they play that well, and they might say good evening.
Yeah.
They tend to sort of like think, right, I've got to play these, and I've got to get through them, and I've got to get through them, and that's it. And then they say, thanks very much, good night. But again, you've had a good evening. You just find sometimes maybe a little bit more conversation and bits while you're getting into a different key or whatever on your guitars, or you're wiping the sweat off your drumsticks or whatever the case may be. It's nice to have that little conversation, and I think you do that really well, Darren.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
No, you do.
Yeah.
And you enjoy I think you enjoy the sort of, the shouting back, and, I think you really get off with that. It really does. You can see it. It's a big smile on your face, and you love it when people shout out to you, go on, Darren, give us some of that, whatever the case may be. And you really, you can see it. You can see it in your performance. You can see it the way you perform. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself down to the Cavern Club. That's what I will say to you right now. That is my message to you. Or indeed, if you do fancy going over to the Hackney on the 20th of June, just the day before, hopefully, the lockdown finishes, get a taste of what they can do, sitting down and ordering your drinks and putting your hand up if you want to go for a wee-wee. Or indeed, hold on for 5 more days, get yourself down to the Cavern Club at Rains Park in London on the 25th of June. What time are you boys on?
Oh, I don't know. It'd be the usual, I suppose. I think we're headlining that, so it'd be 10 o'clock, I suppose.
Excellent.
It's always a good late night there as well. It's beyond midnight, so it's always a good hour and a half set when we play there. So
yeah. What do you do? Do sort of 2 45 minutes with a 15 sort of wee break and a cup of tea?
No, we crack on all the way through it.
Wow.
Keep going until they tell us to stop.
That's what you want, isn't it, really? And sometimes they forget to tell you, don't they?
They do, yeah. We have been known to be there at breakfast, yeah.
That's it. They do a lovely breakfast there, ladies and gentlemen, as well. I'm only joking. I don't know if they do or not, actually, but maybe they do. Who knows? Maybe they're listening in right now and thinking, do you know, Cookie's onto something there. We might start.
There you go.
We might start doing breakfast at 3 a.m. in the morning. There we go. Why didn't we think of that before? Oh, it's brilliant, Darren. It's fantastic. Now, what we normally do at the end of our little conversation here, I always give you sort of like 30 seconds. I was going to say 30 minutes then. Could do another 30 minutes if you like. I'll give you about 30 seconds as a nice big shout out to the band and anyone else that may or may not be listening that you want to get a little message out to. So I'll hand it over to you, my friend.
Okay, yeah, I would want to shout out to anybody that ever comes to see the Shalalas. They know who they are. It would be wrong of me to name anybody. They know who they are. Yeah, and all the guys in the band and anybody that supported us. Yeah, big love to all.
Oh, that is fantastic. And I think we're just going to get the social distancing crowd back in. I think you well deserve one of these. Hang on. Oh, where are they? Where are they? There they are. Ready, go! Go! Do you know, they sound like they're not wearing face masks, but they are. And they're just under 2 metres apart because I've got a small studio here, but I think we're allowed that. Oh, you've been a star this evening. Thanks ever so much for jumping on. I know you're a busy man, doing loads of busy things, and obviously getting ready for your live performances very, very soon. It's only a couple of months away, ladies and gentlemen. I am so looking forward to this. And I'm sure you are as an artist as well, aren't you, Darren?
Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. Chomping at the bit to get out there.
Oh, I bet you are. I bet you're foaming. You're foaming at the mouth. I can see it right now. You're salivating, ladies and gentlemen, if I can get your teeth back in. Oh, it's brilliant. Looking forward to seeing you guys as soon as I possibly can. I know I should be down to the Brighton Mod weekend, whether I'm going down there for the whole weekend or down there for one of the 2 of the days or whatever. But I'm definitely coming down there because, well, it'd be rude not to, really, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
So I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys. If I can possibly sneak my way in on the backstage pass or whatever, I will definitely get in there and see what I can do. Because you know something. Excellent. Now, before I go, I've just got to say now, I've got to find a better way. That's all I'm going to say. You know where I'm going with this, Darren.
Brilliant. Lovely.
Thank you, my friend. You take care, and I'll see you very, very soon.
Thanks for that, mate.
That's all right, buddy. No worries at all. Give my love to the boys as well, and all the best to you, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers. Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye now. There he is. Fantastic. And that was indeed Darron Robinson. And I'm not sure if we've got rid of him yet. Hang on, where is he? Where's he gone? Hang on. We're trying to get rid of him now. What's happened to him? There we go. He's gone now. Right. That is absolutely brilliant. Darron Robinson there, lead singer of the Shalalas. And if you notice, I just said something about got to find a better way. The Shalalas there. A better way. In brackets, got to find. Oh, thank you very much indeed for Darron Robinson there for jumping on and giving us so much insight into him, the band, and obviously what's coming next. Who knows? Hopefully, loads of great things. Now, we did mention the special AKA with Free Nelson Mandela, and I thought it was only right and fitting that we should play it in its entirety.
Cookie, me really love that cookie.
Yes.
So after that one cookie, me make 2, then 3, then 4.
Oh, yeah.
Cookie.
Yes.
No longer just a rookie, cause once me ate one
Goodbye, it's time to run.
So long.
It's me.
Farewell.
It's time to go.
Saying goodnight.
Goodbye. But not for long. We're back next week at 7 o'clock. Okay, just a couple of things to tell you.
When do I get my badge?
It's in the post.
Of the drum and
Okay, first up we've got Trailer Man with his American Pie show on Sunday this evening at 9. The Cookie Club follows him. That'd be me. That's why I've got to go early to get myself all prepped.
Gentleman, take off his tie.
But going back to the Trailer Man, and yeah, please join him if you can for his brand new show, American Pie, everything American, all sandwiched in between 2 layers of pastry. Looking forward to that. Get your teeth into it. Hopefully we'll have the Grenadiers in with us next week. Until then, stay safe out there. Take care. Wash your hands, social distance, and we'll get through it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Until 7 o'clock next week, I'll see you then. Take care. Bye. Yeah, we're back, yes. And what did you think of that for an interview? Wasn't it great? We found out so much. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for joining us for the Target Radio podcast. I am your pod father. That is me, Cookie. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes if you can, please. If you think we deserve it, 5 stars, please. It does help with the future of Target Radio. Check out all of our great shows here on Target Radio. And as I say, please, please, please support local artists and the Unsigned Band. Until next time, thank you very much indeed. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.